I'll give y'all a few minutes to pull up because, man, we got some things to talk about. We got some things to talk about. I'm going to give y'all a few seconds. I don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to tap in with y'all just for a few minutes to talk about this Robert Saleh thing before it gets a little bit too crazy. It's going to get a little out of hand. It's already kind of, conspiracy theories already popping up, but I'm going to give y'all about another 20 to 30 seconds to pull up. But Robert Saleh's gone. You see that down there on the ticker. I was hoping to pop on at 6, but things are kind of fluid here at the gig, so I got to do what I got to do. But man, Robert Saleh gone. The conspiracy theories are already out. Scrub Zero in the chat was good. Corey, I see you in the chat was good. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Testing out some new stuff here to be able to do this live from the phone and whatnot. But man, Robert Saleh up out of here. Conspiracy theories about a patch that he wore. Dog. I can't believe Robert Saleh has people caping for him to the point that they think that this man was actually let go because of a damn patch on a jacket. Like, what are we talking about? This man's offense ranked last, dead last. That's 32 out of 32 in multiple offensive categories. Like, what are we talking about with this Robert Saleh nonsense? Like, he tried to play the game and he lost. If you're familiar with The Wire, this is like when Marlo was talking to that security dude. It was like, nah, you want it one way. You want to be able to talk down to me and da da da. You don't understand who I am. He pulled that. Aaron Rodgers is Marlo. If y'all haven't figured that out, Aaron Rodgers is Marlo Stanfield when it comes to the New York Jets. Like, Saleh really thought he was going to be able to control. He thought he was going to be able to wrangle. He thought he was going to be able to really tap in, and Aaron Rodgers is going to be on his type of time. It's outrageous to think that Robert Saleh would be able to dictate to Aaron Rodgers, discount, double check, and all of that. It's amazing to me that he thought he had that defensive acumen, the coaching acumen, and just the overall status to be like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, maybe we need to change some things up. That just happened a few weeks ago where he chastised Aaron Rodgers to the media. To the media. Be over because of some pre-snap penalties, some false starts. Well, maybe Aaron needs to stop doing the hard count at the line of scrimmage. Are you out your goddamn mind? Are you out your goddamn mind? Do you realize that's why you're at the crib right now? Robert Saleh, you tried to mess with the king and you missed. You tried to play that game and you missed. He really thought him being the coach meant something when a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who got Nathaniel Hackett named the OC, had all these players, Lazard, Reggie Cobb last year, trying to bring in all his homies in them, his mans in them, tried to get Bakhtiari and all that. He tried to get everybody. He was trying to get, the tight end. He was trying to get Mercedes. He was trying to get all of them to pull up because he had rank. And Robert Saleh really thought he could usurp that. He really thought he could control that. It's amazing to me. First time coach, if you look at the defensive, if you look at the offensive numbers, and yes, Corey, I know he's a defensive coach. I understand that. But we're really sitting here talking about a team that was 32nd in points per game, 32nd in offensive TDs per game, and yes, I have notes. 31st in yards per game, 32nd in turnovers per game, and total offensive EPA. And while, yes, he's a defensive coach, yo, newsflash, just because you're a defensive coach, that doesn't mean you don't have no say in the offense. It doesn't mean you don't have any impact on the offense and the offensive philosophy. Clearly, you hired OCs that you felt were going to do this in your image. You hired OCs that you thought were going to be able to follow the precedent that you're laying out for the team as a whole. And none of that shit mattered the minute you went out there and bowed down and kissed the ring of Aaron Rodgers. The Jets were a QB away for about 2 to 3 years with the whole Zach Wilson nonsense. They felt they were a QB away from being a team that's actually a contender. We all believed it. Various degrees of being a contender, but we all believed, if they just get a QB, they're not that far away. So they bring in Aaron Rodgers, and he gets to bring in his man, Nathaniel Hackett. They go out there. They mortgage their future to go out there and get Aaron Rodgers. He starts bringing in all the old Packers. He wants to bring in all the old Packer plays. But the problem is, you don't got Matt LaFleur, bro. You don't got Matt LaFleur, bro. Matt LaFleur has shown he had Malik Willis cooking when Jordan Love was out. So now, wow, do we need to re-examine those last couple of MVPs from A-Rod? Was that more LaFleur? It's something to think about. Because ultimately, this whole thing comes down to power. Aaron Rodgers, following the mold of LeBron in the NBA and a lot of the NBA players, and you're slowly starting to see some of that creep in to the NFL, but only with a few chosen few. Like, outside of Mahomes, Lamar, Joe Burrow couldn't get Jamar Chase paid. Think about that. Joe Burrow couldn't get Jamar Chase paid. You can't tell me the Bengals didn't holler at Joe Burrow and said, what do you think? Yeah, pay him. And that man did not get paid yet. So the player empowerment thing is really being mortgaged. Aaron Rodgers is trying to squeeze whatever remnants of power he has remaining with. I don't think this will be his last contract, but certainly his problem is done. If he's not washed, he's knocking on the door of washed. Okay. But because of that resume, because of the pedigree, because of the championship, because of the MVPs and recent MVPs at that, he was allowed carte blanche. He was allowed to be the guy. Even though Robert Saleh was the coach, we all know everything ran through Aaron. And when Robert Saleh tried to jump out here and chastise Aaron Rodgers for trying to get guys on a hard count when his own offensive line kept committing false starts, you don't take that time to try to be the tough guy coach, Robert Saleh. And that's what he learned. When he's at the crib, when he lays that head on the pillow tonight, hopefully on the cold side, shout out to Stuart Scott. Hopefully he realizes, I shouldn't have said shit about the false starts. I got set up for that question. I could have dodged it. I could have said, well, it's on me. He could have did the easiest, laziest trope in the world of saying, it's on me. I'm the coach, etc., etc. Now, he tried to clean that up once he realized he got at Aaron Rodgers. He tried to clean that up. But then man had to spit in the block. As the coach, it's on me. But no. The damage was already done. You can't run that back. You can't run that back. You can't do the whole Men in Black thing and rewind. No. We all heard you. You was in 4K. You was in 4K chastising Aaron Rodgers. The only reason you're considered a contender of any sort is because that man was given power and decided to pull up. It had nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do with that defense. The defense, by the way, when do we get to talk about that? Because as great as the defense is supposed to be, there's a lot of names on paper. Woody Johnson, in the aftermath of this whole thing of firing Robert Saleh, said, this is one of the most talented teams, of his Jets tenure. Now, by the way, Woody Johnson, going into the conspiracy theory of, Palestine or Lebanon is a thing that Woody Johnson's got some other things in the closet if you wouldn't want to dive deep. It doesn't always just, it doesn't really just be revolving around presidential candidates, but he had said some slanderous things about African Americans. Clear as day. 2018, you can look it up. Google Woody Johnson 2018 Black History Month. There's your homework for this live stream. Do that and then come back and holler at me. So, Woody Johnson has never fired a coach in season. This is the first time ever in 25 joints that he has fired a coach 6 weeks in. And as much as we want to talk about, is Aaron Rodgers washed? Yes. Right? Like he's washed, right? And if he's not washed, he's not going to the door, right? But the defense is supposed to be top tier. The defense is supposed to be lights out. The scheme is supposed to be top notch. We see what D'Amico Ryan's doing in Houston, right? We see that. The Jets have a lot of players that make a lot of money, that have a lot of status and clout. But as a scheme, does it work? Through 6 weeks, are y'all really out here trying to tell me the Jets' defensive scheme, not the players doing their thing, does the scheme with the Jets work? And through 6 weeks, the answer is no. The answer is no. It's a bunch of dudes flying around, but then you see busted coverages. You see dudes playing the wrong assignments. Now, blown coverages can happen. The shit happens every NFL Sunday. If you watch your Red Zone, you see dudes wide ass open out here with blown coverages, again, touchdowns, right? However, when it starts to become a pattern, when it starts to become a thing of, well, you're always getting blown assignments. Maybe not a blown coverage where a dude is now untouched for 50 yards, but you get blown assignments. Well, are you playing zone or are you playing man? And the confusion of that. That's been a real thing with the Jets defense. The Jets defense was supposed to be a dominant defense, but it's kind of turned more into a bend, don't break defense. That's not what they would advertise to be. And when you have a Williams and you have a Sauce, that's not supposed to be a bend, but don't break defense. That's supposed to be, we only giving up 10 points a game, lockdown defense. And the Jets ain't that. Unless they play the Patriots every week, then they start to cook up. And now the Patriots are to the point where they're finally going to hand the keys over to Drake May. So a lot of things are happening, but the Robert Saleh thing, Mekhi Becton, of all people, has decided to hit the Elon app and air out Robert Saleh. Then he had to delete it because he's Mekhi Becton. But Mekhi Becton took this opportunity to tap dance on the grave of Robert Saleh, another offensive player. Make of that what you will. So, if we get into the thing of, and I'm trying to look at my notes here. The Nathaniel Hackett piece can't be understated. This man looked lost as the coach in Denver, one and done, right? It was like he's playing for Calipari, one and done. But then, after that, this Jets offense, albeit with Zach Wilson, and then you have Garrett Wilson, who's supposed to be one of those. Supposed to be one of those. But then, now with him and Rodgers, it ain't really looking like Garrett Wilson is one of those. And you heard what Justin Jefferson said. So Garrett Wilson was thought to be in that conversation of that caliber, and y'all tell me, through 6 weeks, does Garrett Wilson look like one of those? He looks like a number one on the Jets, but he don't look like one of those. Is that Robert Saleh's fault? Yes, but no. When you're the coach, all the brunt's going to come to you. Just like all the praise is going to come to you. You think Belichick the window, but I'll do it. You really think Belichick is the mad genius? Very high football IQ. I would never take that away from him. But do you really think he's that type of dude in terms of football genius? Because what happened when Tom Brady left? You could give me the Matt Castle year, but that core group was intact. So even though Brady was out, you still had the rest of that core group, and that core group rallied around, you know what I'm saying, your man's Matt Castle, and they almost made the playoffs with 10, 11 wins that year? But in terms of When the top tier talent's not there, how good are you really? Robert Saleh, for all intents and purposes, outside of QB, has had top tier talent. Maybe the offensive line. So we'll give him some grace on that. Outside of QB and a smidge on the offensive line, he's had top tier talent. A number one wide receiver, Breece Hall. He's had weapons on defense at every level. D-line, linebackers, and secondary. He was given that talent, and for a couple of years, he gave you the coulda, shoulda, wouldas. But he also gave you some moments where it looked like he didn't know what the hell he was doing when it comes to clock management, when it comes to scheme, when it comes to message to the team. He was too busy running the damn steps in Matt Life, trying to get his model shit off, when his team was being discombobulated once the game started. I mean, y'all tell me. Y'all tell me. I see the comments. Let me hop in a little bit. Yeah, Scrub Zero, I feel you. I mean, I think ultimately, and I will have to wrap it up in about a minute or two here, but ultimately, Robert Saleh played a dangerous game. He wanted to be a tough guy. He wanted to be that hardcore coach. He wanted to be that disciplinarian. And in 2024, not only can you not get that shit off at this level, but you damn sure not going to get that off when you have a Super Bowl winning QB that has multiple MVPs walk into your building, get his man's hired as OC, and tries to get every dude that he fucked with the Packers to pull up and become Jets. You still try to play that game. Robert Saleh wanted it one way. And the problem is, it was the other way. But he only wanted it the one way. This is Marlo talking to the security dude. You only want it one way. The problem is, you don't know it's the other way. And that's what this Jet shit was. Your man's Robert Saleh. He didn't show me nothing. He's just another coordinator that should have stayed a coordinator. He got a chance. He was given an opportunity. He was given an opportunity with a good young team. He was given an opportunity with a veteran team, and he tricked both off. Yes, we could throw out, last year, Aaron Rodgers getting hurt 4 plays, and we could definitely do that. But ultimately, he has nobody to blame but himself. He came at the king, and he missed. All right, I'm going to head up out of here. But the CMD podcast, I'm going to try to get another episode out tomorrow that should be dropping on this YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, subscribe and all that type of good stuff. Salute to those that are watching this on a replay. Try to give y'all a little taste, little 15, 20 minutes while I can. Because I know tomorrow, then the next day, this story's going to get old. So I wanted to hop on and be able to give y'all my instant thoughts as it happens in real time. So for the CMD, I am Sam Duzme Jr. I'll holler at y'all soon.